At long last, I am able to say a few words of my own.
Hey everybody, what's up? Monty Mont here, and we are with the Shareholders podcast. Man, I'm very excited to be here now. I got to tell you a quick little history, man. Before I had a network, I just had the Mighty Sharp podcast. And what I used to do sometime, man, I used to just set the table up, have my brothers just come through. You hear 5, 6, 7 folk on the mic, you know. I done got all sophisticated with it now and got a set and all that. Special calling guest, but for this topic, man, we got to go old school. So we're going to have a couple of fellas just coming through, man, because we're talking about the universal topic. We are in a global pandemic. We are experiencing that right now. We are experiencing social unrest as well. And there's a lot going on in this country. But what we all kind of are missing is that escape. And that escape is in the entertainment industry, and especially for sports and, movies and things that are shut down. So we're going to talk about the sports side of it, man, and just talk for a while, have some fun with it. But I got a lot of brothers going to be coming through. I got a couple right here with me right now. So guys, how you doing? I got Buck. Buck, how you doing, man? You all right?
Good. I'm doing good today.
Good to have you here. Of course, the world famous, infamous Todd E, man. How's it going?
It's all good.
Of course. Then, of course, y'all remember, man, back in the day, my brothers here. Come back, man. What's good with you?
All good.
Make sure that mic's up on you good. All right, so, and the news heavens opened up the day before we was doing this, because this whole time, and all these sports leagues, hey, what we gonna do, when we gonna get back? And, a lot of people are asking, when the game's gonna come back? When the game's gonna come back? But we in a pandemic. We've been social distancing for a while. So it's been very hard to you got to make plans, but you don't know for sure what's going to happen. 2 months ago, we didn't know what we was going to do. You know what I mean? But things are trying to open up, and they're opening things back up. And these leagues are starting to open up. But I want to first start with this and I want to get everybody's reaction. The first catalyst for this was, and unfortunately the brother gonna kind of get labeled as this, was Rudy Gobert. And when Rudy Gobert first tested positive for COVID, it literally shut down everything. And not just basketball, but everything. So I'm gonna start with you, Buck. What did you feel when you first heard the NBA was shutting down everything? How did you feel like? Did it really hit you good?
Actually, it did. It just let us know that this pandemic that hit the United States is now affecting every area of the United States, all businesses, regardless of what professional environment or organization you work for.
Yeah.
But when I heard that, Rudy Gobert tested, and then later, everyone was watching ESPN trying to see what the network was saying, and then they called the game, that they tested all the players, and then it came back that, now they have to quarantine everybody. I was saying, this is real.
Yeah.
I know, number 45 said this was a certain, nationality's disease, but no longer is it that the case. And I don't believe that was ever the case.
Right.
So I will say that. I know that we're talking about sports and not politics, but let the truth be told. So it just really let us know that this magnitude at that time is bigger than what we all know and realize.
Well, it was huge, right? And I mean, from the perspective that it really didn't hit me in that moment, but I'm gonna tell you when it hit me. It hit me when the March Madness NCAA tournament was shut down. You talk about a whole different level of being mad. Because I'm like, now that's real March Madness, because we fixate on a certain time of the year. Every year, it's just been written into our sports DNA. I got to do my research, and I got to get my brackets together, and I got to kind of, pick my Final Four team and the such. It really hit me in that moment. Then for Rudy Gobert, and like I said, in the sports world, he is going to be that GOAT. Not the greatest of all time, but he's going to be labeled because he in his ignorance. And he didn't know at the time.
Nobody.
Virus, COVID-19 was about him. He touching mics and doing all this clown and everything. And it just, the next couple of days, the next 48 hours, it went real serious. And I thought for a long time that he was going to be that, that black eye, but then when it started hitting other sectors, right, and it started hitting businesses, and it started hitting homes, and it even hit the White House, I said, oh, this thing is for real.
Yeah.
This thing is real. And so I think we ought to give Rudy Gobert a pass just based out of his ignorance.
Yeah, yeah.
I ain't saying that.
No, I mean, just like I remember hearing about it in January, and I remember it was kind of talked about, and I think for the most part, no one took it that serious for the most part. And then I remember before everything shut down, like I remember the NBA was putting out that the Golden State was going to play a game with no fans.
Yeah.
They're playing it, and I was like, "There's no way they're going to do that and stuff." So I remember, people were washing their hands and stuff more, but it wasn't really serious. And then when the whole Rudy Gobert thing happened, I remember I watched the video. It's like they were shutting the game down, but they'd never done that before, so no one really knew what to do. So I remember I was like, okay. Like, what's going on? I'm thinking this would be a week or something like that. And then it's like within 48 hours, like all of America shut down. Like you said, the NCAA, like we all know how cash driven that is. The fact that they're,
Yes.
you can't play for the NCAA and get paid. Like that is a huge cash out. So when I saw they were canceling that, that's when I was like, okay, this might be more serious than we thought. And like I said, within 48 hours, schools, businesses, like I said, pretty much the whole world shut down within a 48-hour span.
Yeah, you know what? And if you remember that day specifically, they said Gobert had it. They shut down the NBA. And then I remember Tom Hanks, the actor, announced he had it. It was the same day. It was like an hour between.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is happening in the world? Like, this is crazy. And the funny thing, even with COVID, is that because once Gobert got it, they tested everybody, and then Donovan Mitchell had it. But you really don't know who had it first, really. Gobert just tested first.
True.
He just happened to, because and the crazy thing about this thing is, they said Donovan Mitchell never had symptoms the whole time. He fine now, thank God, but he never was sick. That's what was weird about it. But just go through some numbers real quick, because when they started canceling stuff, I'm going to hit the numbers. The NBA is estimated about an $8 billion revenue. Okay, $8 billion with a B. The NFL is $9 billion. MLB is almost $10 billion. Even the NHL, that's about $5 billion. The March Madness tournament itself is $1 billion just without the games. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So let alone the movie industry and all of that stuff is stopped. I mean, we talking about billions, and so everything gets shut down, and I'm just reeling by this. I said, this is really, like you said, I remember when they said Golden State with no fans, I said, man, that's crazy. Now, ain't nobody not trying to come back and have fans. You can't, you know what I mean? So it's interesting though, because so now we've been seeing plans and, okay, well, we're going to, a smaller season and how we're going to do the playoffs. And the issue about it is, the NBA and the NHL were almost done. Baseball hadn't started yet. Football hadn't started yet. And so I know that they desperately want to kind of put an end to their seasons before the next one. You don't want to have a vacated title. So they're really pushing. And so Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, has really been trying to get all these plans. They're saying maybe come to Vegas, do this, do it. And they finally were centering on Orlando. But the whole time, my thing was just, even with opening up and wherever your job is, wherever opening up, whatever you guys do, I just kept worrying. I'm just like, have we gotten past COVID? I ain't really heard, social distancing and all that. But I'm like, y'all just go. I mean, guys sweating on each other and things, and which is in and of itself amazing, because when you think about it, if Donovan Mitchell and Gobert had it, how didn't the whole team have it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
That's what I was trying to think about. Like,
That's a good question.
And then two prominent players, so they're on the court a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know they did like the cross testing and stuff, had to test different, but that's what I was trying to figure out is like, I guess how contagious is this? Because you think basketball, you're together, it's super tight, it's super close. So you think if one person has it, as contagious as it's supposed to be, whole team should have had it.
You would think, how didn't they sweating on each other, but then you would think with COVID is you'll hear like, man, 3/4 of this meat plant, they all got it, you know. But then I read a story where there was 2 hairdressers who didn't know they had it. They had it. They said they probably estimated they did about 100 people's hair, but none of the people had it.
Wow.
So it's weird like that. But go ahead.
No, and so this is where the COVID is dangerous because you don't know when it starts.
Yeah.
Right? And as far as what's it called, source tracing and finding out how many people you came in contact with, and then the people they came in contact with. Am I asymptomatic?
Yeah.
There's no vaccine. I mean, it's just so that right. That to me, that's the scariest part about it.
Yeah.
Because, man, not knowing. To me, the fear alone of not knowing. I mean, am I more susceptible because I'm an athlete?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, or my job as an athlete.
Yeah.
Right. Does it make you
as a basketball player because it is a contact sport. There can be no social distancing in my job.
Right.
If I work in a cubicle, right? If I work at, they can put up the extra, plexiglass, whatever. I'm separate from the person next to me, right? But in basketball, I'm leaning on, pushing on, touching on.
That's true.
Exchanging all type of sweat, DNA, and all type of, I'm more susceptible.
Yeah.
But then it's crazy because what they tell us, if you did put all the players in a bubble, you test everybody and nobody got it, then nobody should get it. Then you know what I'm saying? If you think, because they're like, there's a fear of that. Like, what if somebody gets it, during, we about halfway through the playoffs and LeBron gets it. But if they are sequestered and we didn't tested everybody every day and they don't got it, then nobody, you would think. But that's why it's weird. So the amazing part of this is just yesterday, this is Saturday, last night, because they were like, okay, we think we got it. We're going to bring the players in. We're going to start all this. And I've been hearing a lot of that. And in my mind, I was like, okay. And then finally, Kyrie Irving said, hold on. He said, well, I don't know if I'm good with this. You know what I mean? And whatever his motives may be, but I think there are players that feel that way. And I know guys want to play, but you want to be safe. But then,
You're dealing with health.
You're dealing with a
health concern.
And now Kyrie, y'all ain't really got a shot. So he might be kind of, and I've heard Dame Lillard be like, I don't want to play unless the games are meaningful, which I understand. And that's why the whole league ain't back. But, I don't know if I can fault the guy, if I can fault the backup point guard for, the Rockets or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Or if they be like, I don't know if I'm good with this.
Okay, so let's break this down. The bubble, as they call it, right? Orlando, Florida, Disney World, ESPN Worldwide Studios has created a COVID-safe environment, right?
So to speak, right.
Extreme amount of testing, state-of-the-art equipment, right? The thermal imaging, right?
They got all the works,
the whole nine. I'm still afraid. Even though I'm in this sequestered place, literally basketball quarantine, so to speak, right? With the teams that are there, is it gonna be family?
They can't. They said they would not allow them to have outside contact with families for at least
right.
2
You
months.
couldn't because
you can't really
if your son
2 months.
is running, so that's the bubble. The scary part to me is if somehow, some way, LeBron, I don't say LeBron, but any one of the players there, COVID positive, right? In the bubble, right? That's a contagion. That's gonna spread like wildfire, and it could wipe out the whole league, right?
Well, that's what I said. There's cases where I've seen like some meat plants and some places where a lot of people got it. That's true. You know what I mean? And just being close quarters. We talking about playing basketball. Yeah. I'm pretty much. I wear a mask, but I'm pretty good going to the store. I'm not, from where I used to be, where you was totally paranoid. But a contact sport where you sweating and things, but that's what I mean. There still is some trepidation, and now we're talking about they're gonna do. Somebody said it like if you go to the finals, you got to be there over 2 months.
Yep.
You know, Adam Silver is saying, which is right. He said, we're going to get through about 8 games. And then after the first round of the playoffs, half the teams leave.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so now you're cutting down, but still to be sequestered. And then there's little things like, then that means the hotel staff, whoever they can't just be rotating. They got to be a certain amount of people. You know, the team trainers, the media. That's
good point.
I heard a guy for the media be like, I don't know if I want to go. You know, if I don't want, because if I got to get tested every day and I'm covered.
Good point.
You know, I heard Mike Wilbon saying that for ESPN. He's like, if they tell me to go, I guess I got to go. So that's, man, Mos, just come on in, man. Let's see. Can we come bring the stool, man. Let's come on, drop in. I'll split the mic with you. But there's just a lot of, see if you can put your chair. Can you get in? You know, we doing it old school, man. That's how we used to do. But it's that kind of thing you got to worry about. See, can I get you in right there? Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And can I say this? The thing is that you hit it on the head. You know, while you were talking earlier, I was just imagining. We talk about the court and just the play on the court, but you have meetings, you got shoot arounds. You're gonna eat together. Usually, you're gonna travel at some point together, so you're gonna be in close quarters. That's all talking. It's all communication. Where's the social distancing going to take place, or is everyone required to wear a new mask every day? And then we talk about this for our frontline heroes in the medical field, as well as, you know, our police force and our firemen. But then what about PPE for the staff?
Yeah.
You know, and you mentioned the key thing. Okay, where are our living quarters going to be? And what does that staffing look like? And then the people that are preparing our food, what does that look like? I was at a restaurant yesterday, and I happened to walk through. I didn't get anything to eat, but I happened to walk through, and the person that was standing behind the counter didn't have a mask on. And I literally said, I don't think I would be comfortable ordering food from here.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
And I was just, you know, in the open area, but I'm like, wow. So those are the things that I believe, you know, because Kyrie really spoke out, and they said that came from the Zoom call they had yesterday with over 100 players.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going through their minds saying, what does this really mean for me and my health, not just for the 2.5, 3 months to try to, you know, win a championship for my occupation. That is a very serious consideration.
No, but true. I think the NBA, at least in my opinion, seems at least the most, I'd say, socially conscious out of all the leagues. So for them to be the first ones to shut down,
Sure.
you would hope that during this time, it's been nothing but how can we get back to what's the best way? Because it doesn't seem like they've rushed it.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a huge risk because, like you said, if one person gets it, but I feel like, because I saw that they also put something out, like, if you don't want to come, you're not going to be forced to, which I think is good.
But you're not going to get paid.
No, you're not going to get paid.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in a minute. Yeah.
But to that, though, that also, though, I like that in the sense of that's going to give some guys an opportunity. So you got a lot of guys who, you know, in that D League or G League range right now, and now with opportunities. So they're like, well, listen, so-and-so want to play. I'm willing. So, I mean, so it kind of works that. But like you said, it's definitely I think I see both pros and cons. Like you said, I don't think the NBA would rush into it, being that they were the first ones to jump out. But I mean, it's a lot of ifs.
There's a lot of factors. Here, man, let me get your take on when you thought. First of all, let me get your Gobert take, and then what you think they should do.
All right, well, for Rudy Gobert, I don't think he knew. I mean, he was clowning. I don't think he really knew how serious. I don't think anybody knew how serious this virus is, and I don't think they still do not know now.
Right.
I think everybody is thinking out of their pockets and not having any empathy for anybody, not just the players, from the players all the way down to the people that's going to be passing out the food, like you said, from the people that's going to be at the door, opening the limousine or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not even thinking like that. I think that right now, I think the whole, not just sports, but that transcends over to the whole world. They're all thinking about, I mean, I was just on a meeting at work, talking to different directors.
Right.
First thing out of their mouth, money. How can we make cuts? This is a great opportunity to make cuts. We don't need as many people. You know, they're looking monetarily.
That's real. That's
I mean, it's crazy how
real.
everybody's mind right now is how can we get the economy back
Right.
versus wow, how many people are dying or how many people how many people are getting it now? What's the case numbers? You know, how many people are positive? Everybody's mindset is totally different. I think they're being very selfish.
Right.
I think they'll, as you see in this, in our protests, you know, one day they're not saying black lives matters, and now that, you know, a business will say, oh yeah, it does. Don't boycott us. So it's all like, you know what I'm saying? So it's about money, and it's money driven, and anytime you do money driven, you're taking a risk.
Yep.
Big time risk.
No, and you said something interesting. So the COVID-19 pandemic is really shifting and changing all types of business models,
Yep.
right? Because we've learned how to Zoom. Well, we don't need as many people to come into the office, or we can cut staff here. And some are, like you said, some businesses legitimately are looking for ways to reduce their staff, and some are just trying to recoup some of that lost money, right? Because everybody was hit, right? And I think that's what the NBA, the owners, of course, I think the NBA owners want to, I call it the money sandwich, right? They want to recoup that first slice of bread. They want to recoup some of this lost revenue. Because remember, there was still 259 games left, right, in the playoffs. So they want to, that first slice is to recoup, you know, some of that lost money, right?
And because here's the thing. Like you say, you was on a conference call and, you know, y'all working and trying to do some things out. But if you're an owner of a sports team, ain't no money if ain't no games getting played. That's right. That's the one thing. Right. Like, it's so crazy you said that though too, because a lot of these companies are realizing, you know what? Y'all can work from home. Which means, why are we paying rent for this big building to bring y'all into?
Exactly.
That's a cost-cutting measure, like a lot of people say that. But for, you know, the owner of the Celtics, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, we not getting no money unless these guys are playing. That's why they're trying to figure out a way to get these guys on the court. And from an owner's perspective, you know, now, well, I mean, let's get into the money part of this. Because there's an issue, like, you know, especially with the MLB, the baseball union is no joke. Oh, man. Them brothers, and they trying to talk. You know, baseball's 162 games. Yeah. And they're saying, I've seen proposals between 70 games, 110 games, whatever. Yep. But these players still want all the money.
Yes.
That's not.
Which, I mean, man, listen, dog. I'm not trying to be all in y'all pockets.
As an owner.
But how am I going to pay you the full $30 million a year if you only playing 90 games?
Not going to be able to do it.
When in Major League Baseball, when more than 50% of that revenue stream comes from the television revenue.
Huge. Oh, yeah. It is.
So if we ain't only televising half the game, 72 out of the 160, how can you expect to get to 100%?
And more, and see the thing with
that don't have it up.
With MLB is they don't have the revenue share. That's why the Yankees are always so rich, and they buy it because the Yankees, their TV market is New York #1. They got their own network. Chicago's got their own WGN. That's you know, TBS in Atlanta is super dependent on the TV money.
Right.
And so, I hate to play both sides. I understand the players are like, well, man, I heard one guy is like, I don't want to put myself at risk, and I'm taking a cut and all this and that.
Yeah.
But the owner is just like, there's no way I can pay y'all the same amount.
That's true, because it's a business.
It's a
business. At the end of the day,
follow the
just
money.
like you getting a check, I got to have money to write your check.
Right.
So it makes sense.
No, so and listen. So you think about it like this. So the owners. We'll say in National Football League, guys like Robert Kraft, successful businessman, right? Jerry Jones, oil rich billionaire, you know, Arthur Blanks, co-founder of Home Depot. So these are businessmen, right? First, then they acquire somehow sports teams, right?
True.
So as a businessman, I don't become that high up on the business pedestal, right? By not taking risks, right? And I have to manage that risk, right? You can, with avoidance, you don't get nothing. So I got to manage the negative and the failures with the positive consequences, right? So the first health I got to look after is my wealth. The health of my wealth.
Yeah.
Put it like that. The health of my wealth. And if I'm not getting money from the TV revenues, no fans in the stadiums, that means I'm not getting concessions. I can't charge you $35 to park. I can't charge you $12 for that hot dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why are you expecting me to pay you 100% or 50% of the work you got? No union is that strong. No collective bargaining agreement is that binding.
I want to ask you guys then, I'll ask everybody, what would you feel if they didn't come to an agreement? If, baseball went through this once before where they strike and lost the whole season. How would you feel overall? Not that, I follow the Yankees, you know what I mean? I'm not headstrong in it, but a lot of people are. How would you feel if they're just like, well, we ain't gonna have no season no more? Like, what would be, for any of these leagues, based not on health, but based on the fact that they're not coming to a financial agreement? How would you feel? NFL, NBA, whatever. I think the NBA is all right, but how would that make you feel for any league? You know what I mean?
Just from we said it's so many aspects of, like, you have the fans aspect of it, right? Like, you want to see these people out. People pay hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, depending on, to see sports, you know what I'm saying? To see that level of entertainment, right? And the athletes, right, putting their bodies at risk and everything, they want to get their money and stuff like that. And then you got the owners who are looking at the bottom line. So it's like, from a fan's perspective, right, you want to see as many games as possible, right? But then from a player's perspective, it's like, I'll play, but you know what I'm saying? We're in an era now where it's like, nah, I'm going to get my money. Make sure I get my money first. So, and then from an owner's perspective, it's like, nah, I'm going to pay you when I get my money. You know what I'm saying? Like just like, side note, like I've heard like a whole bunch of talk, even something like the talks of raising minimum wage and stuff. That's great. But when a cheeseburger costs $15, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just... Even from his fans' perspective, I want to see games and stuff, but I don't want to be sitting around having to pay $3,000 to go see a ticket because the owners and players couldn't, you know what I'm saying? So that you got to look at it from all aspects of it. Like, of course you want it, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to watch the NBA on on the HBO type, paid subscription, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, like League Pass.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? I enjoy being able to, go to my TV provider and watch a game rather than having to pay for every, you know what I'm saying? But things like that would happen when money starts getting shifted around.
No, that's very true.
So look, we're going to take a break real quick. This is part one. We're going to come back with a part two because it's still a lot more to get to, man. We got to get to the college game.
Oh, man.
As much revenue streaming and what that means, especially with college football. We got to find out, what does a championship mean if you win it in this COVID season as opposed to another season too? So we got a lot coming, man. Stay with us, man. Shareholders podcast. Got my guys here. We got a full slate of stuff we're going to get to. All right, you know what to do, man. Y'all stay sharp.
This has been a production of the Mighty Sharp Network. Executive producer is Monty Mont. Watch the corners and always stay sharp.